sumagot na yung Vice President dito sa impeachment complaints sa pagsusuri ninyo. No? How would you characterize this response by the Vice President?
I think across the membership of the House Committee on Justice and the complainants endorsers themselves, no, I think we are considering the answer ad cautelam as a non-answer. No? So, meron pong mga objections ang pangalawang Pangulo sa mismo nga impeachment proceeding. Sabi, it is a violation of her due process at wala daw pong ultimate facts, no, na binabanggit to po yung pong dalawang complaints po na ito. But again, this entire process of allowing her to answer is the due process of that is being afforded to the Vice President. So wala pong katotohanan yung kanya pong complaint on due process. And secondly, dun po sa ultimate facts, I think I've reviewed the proceedings and all the complaints, no, and the documentation. Nababanggit ho doon lahat ng mga facts, ultimate facts relating to the misuse of confidential funds, relating po to the death threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker. And thirdly, yung pong SALN and unexplained wealth issues, no? So very voluminous, no, yung pong documentation and facts and evidence na pinag-usapan po natin sa tatlong bagay po na ito. So even yung kanila pong complaint on the absence of ultimate facts, hindi po ito totoo.
Okay, so himay natin yung tatlong punto binanggit ng Vice President. No? Yung sabi niya, violation ng kanyang due process, yung absence ng ultimate facts, and of course, she also mentioned yung so-called double standard dun sa pag-handle ng committee ninyo dun sa impeachment complaints against her versus the impeachment complaints against the President. Pero bago yun, no? You characterize this response as a non-response or non-reply. Ano implication nun dito sa proseso ng impeachment?
Well, ang answer po talaga ng impeachable officer or ng respondent, dapat po talaga ay tumutugon po ito point per point doon po sa mga allegations. No? So ibig sabihin, kailangan pong sagutin squarely, directly, yung pong usapin na misuse of confidential funds, yung usapin po ng death threat, no, against the President and all the other persons, at ito pong issues relating po to the SALN and the unexplained wealth. No? Ang laman lang po talaga ng kanilang 15-page answer ad cautelam ay basically general statements lamang po and legal argumentation relating po to the impeachment complaint. No? So that is not the standard that we are expecting from an answer on impeachment complaints. Kasi supposedly, dapat mailatag po ng answer yung mga depensa dito po sa mga binabanggit po ng mga aligasyon. No? So basically, by tomorrow, as soon as we talk about yung po mga updates ng impeachment process, we will consider that all the allegations have not been responded to adequately by the respondent.
So kung ganun, ano yung next step? I understand yung mga nasa likod ng third and fourth impeachment complaints, they waive their right to respond to this, di ba?
Tama po yun. So ang expectation ho natin, if there is a waiver of the right to reply by the complainants endorsers, ma-abbreviate pa ho further ito pong proseso ho natin. No? So ibig sabihin, wala na po yung mga periods to respond kasi na-waive na po ito. And kahit yung pong rejoinder, because there is no reply from the complainants, wala na rin po yun. So ang expectation natin tomorrow, we can proceed to a discussion of the sufficiency of grounds, no, of the impeachment complaints. No? So ang mapag-uusapan po dyan, syempre, yung previous discussions na po on substance and yung pong linatag po ng pangalawang Pangulo na answer ad cautelam.
Okay, so kung pag-uusapan yung sufficiency in grounds, no, pwede ba mag-introduce yung Vice President doon sa phase na yan ng kanyang specific responses to the specific allegations?
Hindi na po kasi bukas po yung discussion po on sufficiency in grounds, no, ito po ay a deliberative process po ng House members lang. No, so syempre ultimately pwede yung bigay pa rin ng submissions, no, yung pong kung sino mang kampo, and that will be considered of course, no, by the committee. Pero we will see po if there will be additional documentation that will be submitted by the parties.
So basically dito sa puntong ito, ang pagbabasihan nyo na lang itong sa tingin nyo hindi sinagot o nasagot ng mga allegations?
Tama po. And syempre, I think tomorrow there will be a clarification on yung binabanggit nga po na double standard daw po in the handling of the impeachment complaints of the President and the Vice President. Kasi I think it is clear that hindi ho pwedeng paghambingin ito pong dalawang bagay nito. Kasi doon po sa President's impeachment, yung pong documentation na pinag-usapan po natin doon ay puro mga news articles at unauthenticated documents, no? Katulad po ng video po ni former Congressman Zaldico. Yung pong documentation and evidence dito po sa Vice President's impeachment complaints, puro mga COA reports, congressional records, public records, katulad po ng SALN ng Vice President, at yung pong Mariaga Affidavit, no? Na pag-uusapan din po ultimately ng atin pong komite as soon as we get to hearing proper.
Ang dating kasi sa akin ito, Congressman, parang ganito rin yung tenor ng kanyang reply doon sa naunang impeachment complaints against her last year, hindi ba? So, kung ganon, hindi rin malayo na dumulog siya muli sa Korte Suprema. And if and when that happens, how do you think that could also affect the process at the House of Representatives?
Well, alam po ninyo, malaya naman po yung pangalawang Pangulo na mag-avail po ng whichever remedies, no, if she feels aggrieved sa proseso po ng impeachment po ng House of Representatives currently, malaya po siyang gawin yun. No? So, but again, the House will proceed with its mandate of impeachment proceedings kasi that is basically the sole province of the House. No? Hindi po yan poder ng Korte Suprema, hindi po yan poder ng Senado, na ang kanilang poder ay yung trial itself. No? So, I think yung pong interbranch respect will still be implemented by the Supreme Court for as long as talagang maipakita ho ng komite at ng Kongreso yung pong fairness and due process na pagkakalatag po in each and every stage of the proceeding.
Okay. Yun naman technicality na hindi pwede magsampa ng higit sa isang impeachment complaint laban dun sa same impeachable official. Has that been sufficiently hurdled dito sa inyong komite? 'Di ba merong Feb 6 na binabanggit yung Supreme Court, 'di ba? Pero may ilang complainants na nag-file before Feb 6.
I think fully resolved na po yung bagay na yan. No? So, ito naman po, yung pong referral to the House Committee on Justice had occurred after Feb 6 eh. So, yun naman po yung most important reckoning date. And more importantly, yung pong Korte Suprema, nagbigay din po sila ng clarification through I think a video, na in fact, hindi nga Feb 6 yung new reckoning date. It is actually a bit earlier by a few weeks. No? So, yung pong referral to the House Committee on Justice, that falls within yung pong allowable period for a new impeachment complaint against the Vice President.
Okay. Itong sa yung ultimate facts, no, help us better understand this. No, sa mga sumusubaybay dito sa impeachment proceedings, ano exactly yung pag sinabing ultimate facts, what needs to be established at this stage of the proceedings?
Well, una sa lahat, pag pinag-usapan natin halimbawa, yung impeachable offense ng betrayal of public trust. So kailangan mo ilatag doon, ano yung batayan mo para sinabi mo that the impeachable officer actually betrayed the public's trust. No? So, ang pagkakalatag po nun, ano yung facts to prove a betrayal of public trust. So, isang bagay po doon, yung misuse of confidential funds. No? So, susunod na ho doon, yung paglalatag ng how was the misuse actually undertaken. No? So, yung mga series po ng mga ebidensya na maipapakita ho doon, yung iba't iba na ho, yung COA reports, yung iba pa hong mga documentation, yung pong mga resibo, no, supposedly, na nakuha mula po doon sa implementation po ng confidential funds ng 2022. No? So, all of these things are basically sufficient to show na ultimate facts had actually been established in the course of the proceedings.
How about yung argument na hindi naman daw binibintang talaga or maliwanag na nilustay ng Vice President itong confidential funds at hindi pwedeng gamiting argument yung command responsibility?
Hindi yung totoo yun. Kasi ultimately nag-attest po yung pong mga heads of agencies, no, doon po sa paggamit po ng confidential funds. No? So, for example, yung po mga notices of disallowance, hindi lang po yung mga accountable officers na mga kawani, yung pong nakatali po ron, even yung heads of agencies, no, katulad po ng Vice President, nakatali po ron. And to be clear, yung po mga dinidinig pong mga kaso sa Sandigan Bayan, down the line po yun, from the highest officer sa isang ahensya hanggang sa pinakamababang mga kawani, no? Nakukulong po sa Sandigan Bayan over malversation, over misuse of funds. So, most certainly, kung yung head of agency, matatali rin po dito po sa ganito pong mga kaso.
Mm.